What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Axe Creation. Today we're going to be looking at some sweep picking. So before we jump into it, let's check out the example of what I'm going to play and then we'll come back and break it down. Now, the chords that I'm using are some pretty straightforward arpeggios. There's nothing too fancy here. We have a basic minor arpeggio. It's one of my favorite shapes, quote-unquote shapes. If you're familiar with your caged theory, it's the C minor shape. Otherwise, we can look at it as a little D minor chord, right? Up in O position, 2, 3, 1, just pop that all the way up into 7th position. So we have, from the high string, 7, 9, 8, 9, 11. And 11 is our G sharp, and that's our root. So that's a very simple minor arpeggio, very straightforward, 5 strings. We can add 11 on the high string. And all we're going to do, the basic harmony of the riff and the example that I played, is just we're going to move that down a whole step to F sharp. Okay, it's the same exact shape, just a whole step apart from each other. Now, when you play something straightforward like that, your typical would be up on the high string with a pull-off, and then the rest would be up, and then you would reverse the pick and go back down. Alright, so if you check out the lesson transcription, I'll put some extra sweep practice examples in there, but I'm just going to break down the example that I showed you. So what I did to make it a little more interesting is I added in the flat 5 of the key that we're in. So if we're on G sharp, play a little tritone. And when you do that, you get a very diminished quality, and you outline part of a diminished triad. But we're not actually going to go in and play the full-blown until we get to the next chord. So we're just going to throw that note in there. You'll see Jeff Loomis does this a lot with his sweeping. So we have it's good, nice and slow, right? So we have 11, pull off the 7, 9, 8, 9, stay on the same string and pull off to 8. And then go right back up. Now you're going to grab the 10th fret, the D, which is your flat 5, and then stop on the G string. Let's check out the right hand. So as we look at the right hand pattern of this arpeggio, I'm going to start it with a downstroke, which might be a little different from the way you would play a normal or a straightforward arpeggio, but you'll see as we go through this pattern that you'll end up going through downstroke. At least that's what's comfortable for me. So I'm going to start with my downstroke and a pull off, and then the next couple notes are all up with a pull off at the end. So it's down with a pull off, up, up, up with a pull off. And then I'm going to start down, 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 and then up with a pull off, up, up. And here's why it's more comfortable for me to go with downstroke, because I'm going up here, and then my pick is going down to start the whole pattern over again. So here's that nice and slow for you. And as you go up and down, you want to angle your hand just a little bit so your pick's never straight perpendicular with the strings. So once that gets comfortable, you just slowly build up your tempo. And it's a controlled rake with your strings. You don't want to just, forcefully go up and down. It's so that if you're not used to sweep picking, that's the hardest part, is controlling the right hand to go evenly through the strings and evenly rake. So that's our first chord. We're going to do that 4 times, first half. And then we shift down a whole step. Same exact thing. Only do it once, and now we're going to actually add in the full diminished arpeggio. We're still going to drop that down and play the diminished 5 or flat 5 from the root of the chord, but now we're going to continue all the way through the diminished arpeggio. If you're unfamiliar with that, it's a really common shape, right? A bunch of minor thirds. 8, 5, 7, 8, 5. It's very symmetrical. You can put it, lots of cool things all over the guitar. So the way we play this in the example that I showed you, we go down the F sharp minor chord, and then jump back up to the high string and play the diminished. Here we're going to reverse the notes on our G string. Instead of going 8, 5 straight up and down, we're actually going to reverse it. Go 5, 8. Skip the B string to the high string and double pull off. Right back down. Reverse it. And go right back into the F sharp minor chord. So let me play that real slow for you. You can see what I'm talking about. And that is our lick. So let me play the whole thing for you nice and slow. That is our example. In case you haven't noticed, this is in 7/8. So you can do a lot of cool patterns with this, change it up, add new notes, different string skips. And like I said, if you check out the lesson transcription, which will be available on axcreation.com, I'll put a bunch of different variations that you can work on. So I hope you have fun learning this. I know it's a lot of fun writing stuff like this. As always, let me know what you come up with. And until then, I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.